This is called the Gig Bag Book of Theory and Harmony. It says compiled and edited by Joe Deneen and Mark Bridges. And this is the basic section still. This is page 43. And there's not really much here to do with the piano, really. This is about tempo. Tempo says the speed of the music, how fast it is played, is called the tempo. There is usually a tempo indication at the beginning of each song or piece of music. In traditional classical music, the tempo is usually written in Italian, but sometimes in German, French, or English. In contemporary music styles, which is pop, country, rock, R&B, jazz, etc., it is usually written in English. A metronome is a mechanical device used for sounding a steady beat at regular speeds. In order to set a universal standard for the interpretation of tempo, a metronome marking is frequently used instead of or along with the tempo indication. A metronome marking of 60 means that 1 tick equals 1 second. Therefore, a metronome marking of minim equals 120 means that each quarter note is represented by a half-second tick. Some standard tempo markings with their metronome settings are listed below. And I think it's a minim, but it's a picture of a... doesn't really work with this camera, it's shite. A little note equaling 120. And here's a list at the bottom. Largo, slow and solemn, 40 to 60 BPM. Larghetto, a little faster than largo, 60 to 66 BPM. Adagio, slow, faster than larghetto, 66 to 76 BPM. Andante, moderate, easily, gracefully, 76 to 108 BPM. Moderato, moderately, 108 to 120 BPM. Allegro, quick, lively. Allegro, 120 to 168 BPM. Presto, quickly, fast, 168 to 200 BPM. Prestissimo, very quickly, very fast, 200 to 208 BPM. BPM equals beats per minute. Then it's on to notation. Notation is the method used to capture the language of music on paper. It's a common set of symbols that musicians use to communicate with each other. A note head is an oval shape that is either open, not filled in, or closed, filled in. The little diagrams show that the note is open at the beginning, which is not filled in, or filled in, which is the next one. Stems. In most cases, when the note is above the middle line of the staff, the stem will go down. Conversely, if the note is below the middle line, the stem will go up. So you've got a picture of stems going up and down in there. This is not always the case. Exceptions to this general rule involve the context of the musical line or phrase and are beyond the scope of this book. It says normal and exceptions. So you've got another picture there with normal and then some exceptions with the little circles around it. It says down, down, up, up. Flags. Flags are attached to the stems and always appear to the right of the stem, never to the left of the stem. So this is eighths, 16ths and 32nds. I think the eighths are the ones that probably have a flag on. It's a little wiggly bit that comes off the line. Beams. In general, beams are a means of connecting flagged notes into groups for the purpose of clarifying the rhythmic division of a measure. The rhythmic division of a measure. Beams. So the flags are kind of little wiggly bits that come off, and the beams seem to be solid lines at the top that connect them together. The composer, songwriter, engraver may choose not to beam notes because doing so would make the intended phrasing unclear. So you've got two diagrams. One says preferred and the other one says not preferred. So it's a mixture of choosing to put the beams higher or lower, I'd imagine. Phrase. A musical phrase is like a sentence. In verbal languages, a person begins and ends a sentence, and we can hear when this occurs. The written music tells the performer when to begin and end a musical phrase. This is indicated with a curved line over the notes in the phrase. And the curved line is pictured above this one here. So it's a phrase which suggests it's like a sentence. Curved line over the top, like a sentence, called a phrase. A slur. A curved line between the two notes, or sometimes three, of different pitch is a slur. It can be thought of as a smaller phrase. And the slur on this one is underneath. There's the phrase, which is the bigger one, and there's a slur, which is underneath. A curved line between two notes is called a slur. A tie. A curved line between two notes of the same pitch is a tie. The second note does not receive a new attack. Its duration is added to that of the first. An attack, I guess, would be going. So the piano is being attacked by fingers. So if it's an A on here, and there's two, instead of going, you're just going once. Instead of that. So it gets attacked once instead of attacked twice. That's a tie, a curved line between two notes of the same pitch. And the picture of that one is this one, which is the same pitch. It's A in the same gap next to each other. Whereas this one is a, what's it called? A slur. And it goes from E to F. E to F. And then A to A. Accents are symbols used to emphasize or stress a note or beat. Notes marked with any of these accent signs are to be played or sung with a strong accent. I'm assuming that doesn't mean regional. Moderate emphasis or strong emphasis. So there's some pictures at the bottom. one of them is going left to right and one of them is going up and down. Oh, yeah, a bit like that. Moderate emphasis, so the first and the third have emphasis, so you would go E, C, F, A. So it's like hard, soft, hard, soft. Oh, that was moderate emphasis. Okay, well I was doing strong emphasis. So moderate would be and then strong emphasis would be so the moderate is going facing, what is it, facing an arrow that's facing to the right. Is that moderate? I can't really see. Moderate, arrow facing to the right. Strong emphasis is facing upward. And then, I recognise this one, this is staccato with a dot. If a dot appears above or below a note head, that note should be played or sung with a short, crisp action called staccato. Rather than and it says short, crisp action. So there's a picture of the dot above the notes. Staccato. Staccato notes with upward stems feature the staccato marking beneath the note head. Notes with downward stems feature the dot above the note head. Other accents a musician will encounter are very percussive but short, which is a bit NWO. It's got a upward triangle with a dot in the middle. You've got moderately percussive and short. You've got a right facing arrow with a dot below. And they're kind of all pictured. Right facing arrow with a line below is moderately percussive with full value, and then a line with a dot above is stressed and moderately short. A line with a triangle above is stressed but very short. Double bars. A light double bar indicates the end of a section within a piece, and a heavy double bar indicates the end of a piece or movement. So that's when you get to the end of a song, you get your double bar, and then the other bit is more of a break bit, end of a bit, but that's the full end of the song. A light double bar, the end of a section. Heavy double bar, end of a piece or movement. Repeat signs is a dotted double bar, meaning to repeat what happens, what appears between the beginning of the piece and the repeat sign. Repeat sign is dotted double bar. Dotted double bar is where the dots are next to the bar. Two dotted double bars means to repeat the passage between the two signs. Two dotted double bars means to repeat the passage between the two signs, possibly infinitely. So whatever is between those two dots, you just repeat it, and again and again and again. So that was the tempo notation. Tempo and notation with stems, flags, beams, phrases, slurs, ties, accents and staccatos and bars and repeats, but mainly tempo and notation.